We are coming to you live today. This is Bourbon Street Bookers with Yappin with Yanna session. I have with me my newest fave, Shantae Knox, author of these infamous Broadus Brothers you see behind me, these Houston boys.
The babies.
Yes, I'm gonna let y'all see all of them. You see Casey back there? You see that BBE? And then Ty and crazy ass Manny.
Yes, that's my baby right there, Manny.
But I have gotten to really get infused with these guys and their story in these Houston streets. And oh my, y'all, this is one of those stories that you literally get invested into. And if you've ever been a part of the literary rejects, yeah.
You can't do nothing but laugh.
Claiming none of them, okay? Because they're coming for your head. They're coming for your head.
Every single time.
So, Shantae, let's talk about how long you've been in this literary world.
2016.
Wow.
2016. Yeah. Took me a minute to, say, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and do it.
Yeah.
And then I fucking did it.
That's what's up. And I'm so glad you did.
Girl, me too.
Why did you literally go out there?
I think when it first started, it was kind of like, well, not even kind of, it was a New Year's resolution.
Okay.
Like, I'm not going to be scared no more. Cause it was like, I had one story like written, and then you get the doubt, maybe people won't like it, this, and that. I say, you know what? I'm making a resolution. I'm stepping out and I'm about to do my thing.
That's what it's got to take. Listen.
Yeah.
And you've done some collaborations with my other fave, Genesis Woods, and you guys have heard a lot about Genesis over here. But this is Genesis Bestie. And they have wrote some amazing characters, hot boys,
Yeah.
The bikes and toys and bikes and toys. Listen, they have it in them to give you street book bays. They got them listed like, listen.
That's the goal right there.
Them out. Time make you want to slap them, but
yeah,
you guys really have obviously lived to where you can give us men, Black men, worthy of being recognized for their rough interior, right? I mean, they have this exterior posture about them where they show the world, listen, I ain't to be played with.
Don't play with me.
They can come home to their women and be vulnerable and be nurturing. And this is the side of them that really touched me. It's like, oh, okay. And I love the bedroom scenes. Listen.
Hey, listen, Jen used to call me Freak Nasty Tay because, of my sex scenes when we collaborating together. But I think she done took the crown, honey.
Baby.
She took the Freak Nasty crown from me, but it's all good. That's my dog.
And so when we talk about your work with Jen, forgive me because these eyes are always looking up. My thoughts got to be coming together. But you have so much support just starting at home. And I thought that was amazing. I love your dedication to your family.
Yeah.
And the way that you write, it's so supported. I mean, between the Literacy Rejects, I see that you guys used to be with Blake's publication.
Yes, I did. That's when I met Jen. Because I did my first book under a different publisher. And then I, decided to do something different. And I, submitted my manuscript to Blake. And once, you do that initial call with Blake and welcome to the team, after that, you're dealing with Jen.
Okay.
And so it went from, her telling me about, your release date, your cover, your editing, to us talking on the phone every single day.
And of course, to build relationship.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things that I literally love about this literary world. The relationships you build go beyond just the pages. I mean, there are genuine, sisterhoods and friendships and relationships that basically become and they're authentic, that's one of the things I love about it, for real.
Yeah, and people would question that too. Like, me and Jen started talking in 2016. We didn't meet face to face until 2019 at the kickback. But this was already my bestie. Like, I don't gotta see her to know she, my friend.
And
But
what
yeah.
I love that you both are cheerleaders for each other. That's just so
Oh
amazing.
yeah.
I love that. There's no
Oh, yeah.
competition. And that's what I said about
Nah.
the literary world. There should not be. Your best friends should not be jealous. They should just be loud and applauding. You know what I'm saying?
And that's all we gonna do, me and her.
That's how it's supposed to be. I love it. I love it. That's me and Allegra's relationship.
I can tell.
I'll start talking about her and she's like, nah, you know that, like, no, you. Girl, I didn't get a piece where I'm writing about her. She was like, oh no, you not. But again, if it's authentic, if it's genuine, for me, it's got to be organic. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And y'all obviously click. Y'all feed off each other. And I think that's amazing. I think the energy is felt in those pages.
Yeah.
But when you stepped out with these brothers by yourself,
yeah,
I can say this. I didn't necessarily recognize your writing and Jen's writing as different, as in, but I really, really, really feel like you bring that thug love.
Yeah.
Tell me
and
about
that's
that.
all I be trying to do.
Tell
I don't know. It's just like, for me, when the brothers, Tahid is really the reason for these books.
Okay.
Because, when I was writing Special Kind of Fool, I was like, I got Donovan and I'm doing my character development. He's one of 4 brothers. So when I got to book 2, they were more present, Ty and Manny, in the book. And it was just something about Ty. And I was like, I have to write about them. I have to write about these brothers. So Ty is really not even Donovan. And I love Donovan, but it was Tahid. And like you said, he's the definition of a lover and a thug.
Absolutely.
So even though he messed up, players fuck up too. But you know what I'm saying? He's the definition.
You know what else? What I appreciate. So you got 4 brothers. There is Casey, who's the oldest. Then you have Donovan. Then you have Tahid, and of course our baby boy Manny, aka Manny, but his name is Emmanuel. And what I love about Donovan is that he basically made a lane of his own.
He did.
And his brothers supported. As a matter of fact, so much so they don't even want him crossing into this lane of this thug world. But again, he can ride either side of the road.
When it's time for family, he gonna do that.
I love that about him. I love that you gave each of them their own individual personalities, identities. Casey, oh my God. When I got to Casey's book, listen, y'all, this was literally a rub and freaking read, okay?
That's Becky's thing, the rub and read. Honey.
Casey definitely has BDE. Manny, I felt like I was at a comedy show with Manny. I laughed so doggone much. And
all day.
I love reliving my books through other people. So right now I have one of my girls reading the books and she's sharing her thoughts with me and she is dying laughing at Manny. My cousin just finished Tahid's book. And I was the same way with Ty. He was working my nerves because I like how he did my girl. He hard-headed. He don't know how to listen. But tell me, who inspired these characters to be?
When I sat back and thought about it, and somebody else asked me that, I think it's my brothers. Okay. I'm the only girl. And it's just a little bit of them. When any male character I have, they're going to have a little bit of them. Their own personality. But, my brother, my oldest brother, he going to be Tahid, a boss. Like, that's him. All day, no nonsense, whatever. That's him.
I can relate.
Yeah. And my youngest brother
Mm-hmm.
is Manny. And he's my youngest brother. We real close. And so people don't even want to see us in a room together because we gonna be laughing, we gonna be clowning, going on, all of that. So me and him, that's where the humor comes in with Manny from my youngest brother.
Why you didn't give him a sister?
They didn't need no sister. Listen, it's just I'm always surrounded by men. Like even in my house, I'm the only female. I have no daughters. I have 3 sons. So yeah.
So you are spoiled rotten. But there's also a side of you that literally can say, listen, I understand men. I'm married to one, I've mothered one, I'm a sibling to several, like,
and a whole ass daddy's girl on top of all of that.
Oh.
Yeah.
And there you have it.
And
that's it. That's how you can write such amazing characters as these, because like literally you wrapped around nothing but that male love. So you get to see them at their most vulnerable times.
Yeah,
you get
they worst, they
in
their
true nature. So you and like they ain't no running no game by you from the perception that you have of what it is that you see in these men, and all of them offer something uniquely different, right?
Exactly.
I love it. I mean, listen, I know who to dive into if I need some male character talk.
Because I got it, honey. I got these men.
Yes, you do, and you're doing it well. You are doing it well. I mean,
thank you.
Literally, I know I got exposed to your work with your collaboration piece with Jen. But when I stepped out and started, dipping into your books, I was like, so I read Manny first. And I realized there was something else. I was like, I'm coming back to it. But when Casey came, I was like, yeah, it's time. It's time. And I'm glad, because I wouldn't have wanted so much of a break. I'd have still been sitting on the edge of my seat. Everybody loves series, but we hate to wait for that next book.
Yes. And Casey was 6 months in the making. Like before, okay, so initially I was supposed to release Casey and Tahi's book on the exact same day. Casey's book just wasn't hitting for me. So I went ahead and I dropped Tahi and I said, I'm gonna keep working on this. But when I read over it, it just wasn't him to me. Cause this time I tried to do an outline. I'm gonna follow this outline and I'm gonna have this book finished in this amount of time. No, ma'am. Casey said no.
And sometimes I got to read that. It takes you to step back, because you can't work. And that's what I say about, and maybe I'm jumping because I'm not into the writing aspect of it, but being an indie author and being under a publisher where you're like being pushed with this timeline, right? But the freedom you have as an indie to say, I need to feel it.
Yes.
And that perception of saying, listen, I write for myself. I gotta like it first, and then I'm gonna share it with everybody else.
Yeah, I hope y'all fuck with it, but you know what I'm saying? I gotta do me, and I gotta let my character speak. You know what I'm saying? And Casey, he wasn't feeling that first part, and I'm just reading it, and I'm like, this is not him. This is not him. So I had no problem scrapping everything that I had and starting from the top. And I literally took my time, and I had a good time writing that book.
It sounds like it.
At the end of the day,
I enjoy it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And I was like, well, hopefully they receive it well. If not, I'm good with it. Casey's good with it. You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
That's it.
I love that you created women that compliment them. Especially my face, Lala.
Oh Lord, I can't believe they be hating on my girl like that. I love me some Lola
either. Because that's why I said I was literally sitting there the whole time saying to myself, wait, maybe I'm gonna get to that part that explains this energy is coming from a sister. When I didn't get there, I was like, I'm 80% in.
Where is it?
Yeah. And then I realized, they're digmatized.
Yeah. It's just, they can't see nothing but Casey, honey.
For
Cause
me, though, Lola complimented him in the sense where just like he was a no nonsense nigga,
yeah,
she was that woman that stepped to her in her own. It took for him to keep basically leaving her out there on the ledge by herself, for
yeah.
her to gather enough courage to say, nah, nigga, you wanna dance my motherfucking tune now.
And that's how that's gonna be.
That's what I liked about
Yeah.
it.
It's only so much you can do.
Right.
Even somebody that compliments you, it's only so much you can do before it's like, you know what? Nah.
And if you choose to fuck with them, that's your business.
Yeah,
but
it
again, you doing it under your own terms. You know what I'm saying? You didn't
there you
change the
go.
rules of the game. Nigga, you used to the nigga you used to be like, you know what? I gotta have that nigga. I want to do everything I gotta do to get right. Now that nigga trying to do everything right to get in your good grace.
And that's how that's supposed to be. She did all she was supposed to do.
That's right. She did.
She forgave all she was supposed to forgive. She did that. She held it down.
This nigga done made her have abortions because he wasn't ready. The mental aspect of that alone is damaging to have to deal with. But then when you leave me pretty much out there on a limb by myself,
yeah.
After I didn't step out on faith and said, I'll take your hand, left everybody else behind me. Yeah, she didn't deserve that at all.
She did. And then that's another thing when they were saying that she was kind of wrong for not, you know, trying harder to get in contact with him and let him know about the baby. Well, she was also scared that this nigga might say he don't even want this baby. She wasn't gonna let Breeze go through that.
I thought the exact same thing. I kept saying to myself, wait, if he had made her have abortions when they were together, and now that he can't be here to physically care for that child.
There, she probably thought that would have been the first thing out of his mouth. She still told him, but or tried to tell him.
That's what I say, but he didn't want to read the letter, right?
Yeah.
And then you have the most hated by me, Big C.
Just a terrible, terrible man.
I'm sitting here like, wow. And I've read so many books where the dad literally ain't shit. And it has become so common in our culture. But it doesn't make it ever any easier to receive. Because I'm like, well, damn, what happens to that proud, you know, that's my boy, that's my seeds.
Yeah. And that's what's so messed up about him, because he went from that to who he was, which was just this evil person. Because he loved his boys. He loved Manny more until he found out the truth, but he was terrible. He went from that dad to just an ain't shit dad. Like,
right. Because I can understand his issue with their mom, right? I got that, the betrayal. But again, how dare you, nigga? You was out there doing you.
You was on your Casey shit, Casey Senior.
But you even made a baby outside of your relationship, and you holding that shit over her head. But that is so a nigga. Like, you could dish that shit, but you can't take it.
Talking about she didn't have to get me back like that. Well, okay, she did. She could get you back however she saw fit.
However she saw fit.
Which she was ragged after a while, because she took it. Oh, Ginger. Ginger just was, boy. Yeah.
And I can't even lie. As it related to Big C, I was never mad with her. The only part I was mad about was how she allowed him to terrorize Manny.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck what you allow him to do to you, but your child.
What that got to do with him? And you letting him suffer because of some shit that you did? A mistake that you made? Come on.
And let that nigga have a secret over his head like that. Like, wow. And then, like I say, when we talk about the women, Manny, and I love another issue you touched on, which we talk about in various books, is becoming, I'm not going to call it a taboo, but it's becoming a really, really, really important conversation that we have within our community, is mental health.
Oh, yeah.
You spoke about that. And for me, having a man to identify in the way that he did it, he said he wasn't claiming I'm fucked up and shit. You know, like, he basically was like, nigga, I needed to pull away from me. Cause like his way of handling shit is he's about to tear some shit up.
Yeah.
So listen, I'm gonna save Houston this week.
Save everybody some damn trouble.
And Bree stepped up. I was so proud of her, but I ain't gonna lie. Initially, I thought she was on some shady shit.
Yeah, I remember your post.
Cause I was like, yes, something not right. Like,
and I had to kind of make it like that because she was hiding something, which was the fact that dude tried to rape her. That's why it was such a kind of, what she got going on.
Right.
Yeah.
That was it for me. That's what I love too. You do raise a lot of suspense in the books. You will have me flipping the head pages because I'm like, nah, that can't go down. Listen, I'm nosy. I'm a little impatient, and it's like, oh wait. But then I don't want to spoil it. I'm like, I want to be surprised.
Hey, so now I do that every once in a while. I will skip.
And then we had Miss Reed. I love that she pretty much stayed who she was. Mm-hmm. And he loved that about her innocence in a sense,
Yeah.
And he found that to be attractive instead of her trying to change who she was to be who she thought he might like.
Wanted to be, yeah.
Which, because he was in the streets and the way he rolled. But this dude, and that's one of my issues too. It's like, if you find something, either address it or let that shit go.
Yeah.
Because you creating your own conclusion about some shit you don't even know. You're not like, yeah.
Just because he didn't want it to be over. He just delaying it. Like, whenever we have this conversation, I know it's going to it's going to be over. And he didn't want that. But like, you can't play with people like that. Get that shit out the way and move on with your life if that's what you're going to do.
You're going to just tag me along, keep fucking over me, talking to me, handle me in the kind of way. And girl, that sex that night, I fell for her because I'm like, nah, nigga. And then you want to try
that was so
come
hard
in the next
to
morning
write
with food thank you, but that would have been nice instead of this dumb shit you just did.
Yeah, that was hard to write because I'm like, it borders on that line, of consent, and it was a fine line on there.
It really was. And even though it works for some, because if you like it rough, but
in that situation,
and I know your real, the energy you giving me, you know what I'm saying? You got some shit. Nah, warn me, nigga. Give me a choice.
Yeah. And then he knows her well enough to know she wasn't fucking with that. That's where the problem was.
Exactly. So he knew that wasn't her cup of tea.
That wasn't right. I got some issues with my boy, but he the reason for it, so I'm gonna let him make it.
So we also got to experience a little bit of Aaliyah.
Of who?
Am I saying her name right? Aaliyah, Donovan's wife.
Oh. Because I didn't know if it was her or Elena, the girl that Ty was messing with. Oh, it's Isla.
Say it again.
Isla.
Y'all know I mispronounce everything, but I'm gonna tell y'all, the spelling of that name, don't say what she just said. Say it again.
It's Ayla. Isla.
Okay, y'all.
Oh, that is funny.
Listen, and me and Allegra stay having these conversations about me and my pronouncing, but I told her sometimes, I've never, English has never been my thing, right? But if you remember your old English teacher say, look at it, sound it out. That English.
I think they was calling Casei or something like that. I was like,
nah, I refuse to make the I an I. I wanted to make it a Y.
Yeah.
And just say it was just fancy.
That's it.
As long as you ain't put no accents on it.
No. I won't go take it that far.
What inspired? Well, let's get back to
Isla.
Now, girl, thank you for saying it, because I would have said it wrong. let's get it back to Isla. She has such a soft side. You know what I loved about her? The initiative she took with Casei and sending him the books.
Oh yeah. She changed a lot, and that's because of Donovan. If people that read Special Kind of Food, this is a new and improved Isla. Isla, I think some would consider like a bitch. Like, she played with Donovan for a long time, knowing she had feelings for him, and she just played with him for a long time. Didn't get her mind right until he was already with somebody else. And then she was, take me back, and he wasn't hearing it. But she knows how close he is with Donovan, Casei and Donovan. She knows how close they are. So there was just nothing for her to do that for him and form her own bond with Casei. Yeah. It was nothing for her to do that.
And she did do that. She did do that because the flame she sparked, right?
Yes.
Man, that is one of the sexiest things he did throughout the whole book, right?
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Being a street nigga that, right.
Yeah.
That's funny. It's funny because he the same dude that would have basically clowned you back in the day.
Exactly.
For whipping out a pen and thinking you was doing something.
And that was his problem initially.
Exactly. His
didn't want to do it because he thought he was going to get claimed.
Man, I was like, and when Lola shared in that moment of reading with him, I was like, yes, that's me. My girl was like,
Yeah. And I kind of slowed that part down a little bit because you got all of this stuff going on. I just slowed it down and gave them, just a couple of chapters, with just them doing what they do.
Yes, that was important to me. Yeah. That was important. And that should have been one of those defining moments as well for readers. Or at least I thought.
Yeah.
For those haters, those Lola haters, I really thought that would have been a turning point for them to see who she really was,
Yeah.
She was,
and their connection
always was. She never switched up.
Never.
She never switched up. She ain't see none of his business, none of his family business. She never switched up. She stayed consistent,
Yeah.
So now my boys got families. I'm hoping we're going to continue to get updates on them,
we will.
Especially Manny, because he hasn't started a family yet. Neither has Donovan.
They so ready too. Both of them, they so ready.
Ooh, I can't wait to see. I know Ginger is in her glory.
Girl.
In her glory. And another thing that I like that you did with each of them, they invested in their women and their dreams.
Oh yeah.
Like, they literally listened to them and heard them speak what it was that their heart desired in terms of what defined them. You know what I'm saying? They weren't looking just to get rich. But when you're passionate about something and it's being supported, man, that's beautiful.
All Lola had to say was that she hadn't been dancing, what she wanted to do with her business. He was listening to all of that. He didn't even tell her nothing about it. Just pull up with me. Let me show you what I got you.
Is a girl in that moment. I can feel that. I can hear my husband say the same thing. So Ned says you wouldn't shut up. Who do you see yourself in with your characters? Which one of them can you identify yourself with?
It probably a book that you haven't read. It's Rio and Ra, the two killers that I introduced. Well, I brought back in this book.
Yeah.
They're from
when I saw it, and I'm writing a note.
They're from Back to Life series.
Right. I was just getting ready to say it was obvious that there was some background, right?
Yes.
That I hadn't gotten yet. So that's my TBR now. That's my TBR.
Yeah.
But Yeah, I figured that out. And I'm like, these gotta be some cold-blooded ass niggas. If they felt like they needed to call them and they can
Yeah.
girl.
Yeah. Them two together, that's another just like Ty and Manny combination. They stay arguing all the time. The brother and the Rio is married to Raheem's sister. So that's how they connected. But the character from that book, which is Raheem's cousin, Dakota, that's who I would compare myself to or relate to most.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. And it was it Mario?
Yes.
And that's why you call him Rio.
Rio.
And Ra for Raheem.
Yeah, his name is Elijah Raheem, but everybody just call him Ra for his middle name.
Man, Dakota. I'm definitely gotta read that because I'm gonna be looking for a little Tay up in there somewhere.
Hey, and Dakota's also an author in that book. And I was trying to connect her and Casei in his book, but when I tell you I got like 30K of just deleted scenes and scenes that I started and didn't finish. The book was just going and going and going. I said, okay, Tay, he ain't talking this damn much. You got to shut it down, Hannah.
So tell me about that, because you said that before in the groups about the deleted scenes. Is it you that read it and pull, or is it your editor or your test readers that made? No,
it's me. I pull it before I even sent sent it to the test readers, because I can read my stuff and say, Tay, this is just fluff at this point. You can take this out. Like I think I had probably, like the flashback scenes. I wrote those to kind of establish, so people would know how connected they were.
Right.
And I think I only ended up with maybe 3 out of 6. Because some of them just weren't necessary. So I took all of those out before I sent it to the test reader. That's
what's up. That is exactly what's up. That makes me, very appreciative of the dedication that you're showing to your work, because I have read other authors' work where I'm reading it and I'm literally sitting there saying, why would I need to know this for? What
like how long to the end?
Right.
Because I didn't want them to say that.
Lose your readers too. So recognizing that, who was it? One of my sister readers posted a comment to the effect of, just because it's a published story doesn't make it a good book. You know what I'm saying? And I'm a firm believer. I was like, say that shit louder, because that's on the real.
It is.
Content. I don't need fluff. I need facts. I need what's gonna drive this story to make me cut up like I do.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if some people don't recognize that, but I just know I can't do, like, the book is already like 144K. So I'm like, I'm not finna, like, this just gonna move along. It's not gonna be no points where they like, what the hell? We didn't need all that, or I definitely don't want them to skip no pages.
There you go. And I'm one of those people that will only skip some sex scenes. Because if you're doing too much, I'm like, it's only so much fucking you can do.
Yeah.
I'm coming back to that part, like.
You gonna come back later?
Like, you didn't tap me out, I'm rubbed out. I am rubbed out shit. I'm gonna have to go get the King Quiet jelly, damn it.
I am done. Oh, that is funny. So I'm gonna just come back to that, honey. I can't take no more.
This is what Yappin with Yanna is like.
Hey, and I ain't mad at it. I can talk how I want.
Allegra says all the time, y'all know I can't control.
Hey, that's Jen once she get going. I can't do anything. I'm like, and you would think it's me, but it be her. I can't stop her once she going. And don't let her have no drink.
Girl, those lies. Wow.
Oh, honey, you have no idea. We had one in the group. I don't think we erased the girl. She was out of there. And I think, was she on her own? Or was I on the live with her? I can't remember, but it's hilarious.
She cuts up.
Cut up.
Locations. You chose, which I believe is your current hometown. Has it always been Houston?
No, I'm in Dallas. I always base my books in Dallas, but I said I'm gonna do H-Town this time.
Okay.
So I had to do me a
I know
little
you was
fifth floor
Texas,
research.
so it's Houston just for the Broadus Brothers.
Yeah, just for them.
So
No,
you
who else is
down
in
to
Houston?
You took your 3-hour trip.
Special Kind of Food, that was set. That's what started it. Special Kind of Food was in Houston, and because they was connected, we kept it in Houston.
Hey.
We gotta come back to Dallas though now.
That's what's up. That's why I said I knew you were Texas. But after reading the Broadus Brothers, I thought it was Houston. Yes.
I ain't been but a couple of times, honey, to Houston.
And so why Houston? What gave you enough background or enough comfort to say, hey, this is where these boys are gonna be from?
I always knew it was gonna be Texas. It's always Texas. But when I was writing Special Kind of Food or planning it and, outlining, making notes, I was like, let's go somewhere else. And I was like, Austin. And I was like, no, because I think I did a Valentine's novella based out of Austin.
Okay.
So it's always Texas. And so I was like, let's go somewhere else. And I just picked Houston.
And see, I've had exposure to several parts of Texas. Houston being the #1 stunner because my favorite cousin is there. And since Katrina, of course, a lot of my family was there. Temporarily, myself, my husband, and my daughter, we stayed there for a couple of years after Katrina. And and then came back to New Orleans. But I had exposure to Dallas. My mom stayed there for a while, still have some family in Dallas. San Antonio, my husband and I went there for our anniversary. Austin, I've been on several business trips because my background, believe it or not, is business and accounting. So I've gone on different workshops, conventions, conferences, or whatever out there. And my goal, Waco.
Waco. I know some people in Waco.
As country as it sounds, I know the only thing out there is Baylor, but as I got older, my maturity allowed me to do two things. The love reading and HGTV. So
oh, you and Jen, oh honey. You and Jen with the HGTV, honey.
So Chip and Joanne piqued my curiosity. So my goal is to get there and experience the meals, as they call them.
Yeah.
So yeah, that. So what else do you tell us about you? What else do you enjoy doing besides read and writing, of course?
Lately, it's just being with my family. I think in July, if it rolls around and I'm still at home, I will have been off from work for a year. When COVID hit, this time I decided to choose my family. As a nurse, we work holidays, we work, overtime, we just work ourselves silly. And a lot of times you putting that before your own people, to care for someone else's family. When all it is, I said, I'm gonna be at home with mine. And that's what I've been doing.
What a blessing that is.
Family.
What a blessing. So
but I do miss, I love nursing, so I miss that. And I want to do a part-time job. And I was asking my husband, I was like, what about nights? And he was like, no. I don't know what he got with women and working nights, but he said no. So I'll find something.
Very protective of you.
Oh yeah, he said no, we're not gonna be able to do that, honey. So I'll find something.
It's interesting. RN, LPN?
RN.
Oh.
For 11 years.
Okay.
And that's another thing. That's one thing I do want to say. My husband, I call him my honey. Like these books, everything that I'm doing, even nursing, like he don't hesitate to just hold it down while I, figure out what I want to do. He did it with nursing while I was in school. You know what I'm saying? And then when I decided I wanted to write, he invested in what was it? It was called the bestsellers program, like $500-$600. Whatever I want to do, he supported. It don't matter. I could come in here tomorrow and tell him I want to start some kind of business, this, and that. Okay, so how we do that? What we got to do? That's just his. So just all of the credit kind of just goes to him, because I probably wouldn't have did half of this stuff if I didn't have him.
I absolutely love hearing that. That literally elevates that Black love, and because it's real. My last Yappin with Yanna live was done with CCJ, and she said the exact same thing about how much her husband compliments her in all her endeavors, and that's her partner, not just in life but in business as well. That's amazing.
Yeah, and I'm telling you, like, it don't matter. He'll just be like, go, even with, okay, you remember the other day I was talking about, the book boxes, and I'm like, I'm not doing all of that. I don't got time for that. And when I told him what I was gonna do, he looked at me, that's it. And he just started shooting out ideas, like even story ideas he be giving me. You should do this. You should do that. I'm telling you, so apparently I'm gonna have a book box now, because he said them 3 books and a t-shirt just ain't gonna cut it. I said, whatever.
That's what I'm talking about, husband. That's what I'm talking about.
Husband say, no, honey.
That's fire. That is fire. So what other businesses do you have going?
Just writing. I don't got the girl. I'm honestly, I'm just be lazy. I just want to, if I could just write and read books and take care of my family, that's all I would do. A lot of people have, those aspirations, to do this and that's not me, and I'm not sorry about that. You know what I'm saying? People expect you to do,
exactly.
You got to be a boss. You got to do. The guy got a boss. Doing that. Shit. Hell.
I had a question that I believe I lost with that last.
Hell no.
Let's talk about your favorite author. That was my thought.
My favorite? Oh man, I got so many. Do I have a favorite? I'll have to say Walter Mosley.
Top 3.
Okay, Walter Mosley, Mary Monroe, and who else? One more. Eric Jerome Dickey.
Okay.
That was my top 3.
1 out of 3 I've heard of. Of course, Eric Jerome Dickey.
Walter Mosley?
I have never been one to, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I've never been able to get into male authors' books. The only book that I read that I thought was a male author, only to find out it wasn't, E.L. James, 50 Shades of Grey. And I really didn't care who the author was. I was intrigued.
Yeah.
And so it's just a difference in the writing, I believe.
Yeah.
That may have turned me off, but
yeah,
it's not intentional. It's just that when I go to pick a book, I'm not even really looking at the name. I mean the author's name as much as I am the title.
Yeah.
It does something.
Walter Mosley, he did the movie with Denzel, Devil in a Blue Dress.
I remember that movie, but I don't believe I ever seen it.
Oh, okay. Well, he wrote that. And I guess it's just this one particular series that I just can't get enough of. And it's based on the dude on that movie, but I don't think I have very many male authors that I read like that. Well, back in the day, it was, all the men, they, had them books coming out. Like You know, you had Carl Weber, Eric Jerome Dickey,
Right.
Omar Tyree, you know, them. That's when I can't even tell you, like, when my real first urban fiction read, it was probably like a couple of years before I wrote my first book. I was just reading contemporary romance and African-American romance at that point. I had never read this gangster shit.
Yeah, y'all have literally created a whole new lane for readers because, and for me, the love that I have for it is because I can relate to your content. Whereas when you read it by others, to me, all it is bullshit. You know, it's like, it's not my world. So it just basically sits there and becomes just a dream. Whereas I know realistically, in my mind, I've said, hey, I can identify their success and their failures. You know?
And I think that's why I was reading those before, because I'm living, you know, in this reality that we writing about, but I'm trying to escape and go somewhere else and see what that life can be like.
Nah.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I fuck with this fairy world a little bit better.
Yes, I read to escape my world. Yeah. And my reading world is peace. It can be stressful, but it's peaceful.
Yeah.
Because when you have the princesses in the world.
You talking stress, honey. Can we talk about the stress of it all? I don't know what we're going to do with Aaliyah. What the hell we going to do?
And for those of you who don't know, as a matter of fact, Aaliyah Danielle is one of our 6 shots of fresh bourbons on the rock for this April month. She's a new author, and her first release was Make You Feel My Love. She has this character who gives the devil and, you know, wears Prada a whole new meaning.
This lady is evil.
But I have to give it to sis. She pinned the piss out of that book.
She did.
She did. I was really proud of her for that. Very excited to have her on the panel. We had a clubhouse chat yesterday and it got wild.
Hey, the one I hung up on when she's talking about.
I'm like, I'm looking, and if you ever seen Clubhouse, there's like, you know, these little circles. There was 6. It was 5. I'm like, well, what's your take?
Soon as she, listen, I didn't even let her get that all the way out of her mouth. Princess can be rehabilitated. Pop, I hit that button, baby. I'm out of here. Lady, this is crazy. The hell?
Y'all have no idea how much fun and how much comes from reading and writing, the relationships that develop as a result of this. Because it really gets you to know some people.
Man.
Good and bad.
Yes. And in that group, and even in your group, like, I done just met some cool people. Believe it or not, Aaliyah got into literary rejects because she was coming in there to roast me about one of my characters. And then you gonna turn around and write, Princess, I know you fucking lying, girl. It's too much.
It really made me understand, with her having the compassion she did for Princess, why she didn't like Lola. Lola has sense. Lola is sane. Lola.
Because Princess is not. Okay. She ain't crazy.
She is crazy.
But she got us talking about it, so that's what's important.
And that is,
I told her, keep doing your thing.
That is exactly what's up. I'm actually 80%, maybe 83-ish into finishing her book 2, and I'm scared.
Hey, you're gonna be mad at the end. I'm just telling you that right now. That's it. I'll be mad as hell.
And you know, I'm sitting here looking at the Broadus Brothers behind me. This Broadus Brothers New Year's. You know, I didn't read that.
When you read that, people have told me that they started Emmanuel and went down the line, but when they go back and read that, they like, oh shit. Oh shit. Yeah.
So I said, I'm going to go back and read that because where did I find this? I found this in a Leia's group on a personal page, as a matter of fact, because the only one
Okay.
I saw was just my boys over here, the 3 here. And
Mm-hmm.
I was like, wait, okay. So, and
That
now
sets the groundwork.
you can find Shantae's entire catalog in BSB, y'all. And of course, as a result of Yapping with Yanna, it will be in our April newsletter. So if you saw this video, then you probably have read and we're led here. But either way, I thank you guys for rocking with us, for listening and viewing this video. I've had a ball. Shantae has, like I said, quickly become one of my faves. She keeps that energy going. She has
Thank you.
real cool vibes, y'all. I mean, she keeps it 100.
And thank you. Thank you for your
It's my
group, like
pleasure.
everything that y'all do. Y'all just bomb, man. I appreciate y'all.
I appreciate that. I appreciate that. You know, BSB came to be from 2 women, and no lies, just what Allegra actually wrote as a description is really what it was. We were childhood friends that reconnected years as adults from reading.
Wow.
Our families grew up together and knew each other. The whole 7 Ward light skin thing, that's where we all grew up. We went to middle school together, St. Mary's, which she finished there. I did not. And we eventually reconnected over Ashley Antoinette's books.
Wow.
In her group, in her reading group. And so it was like, hey.
It's you.
So
hey,
one thing
friend.
led to another, and I was like, we were texting each other back and forth every day about books. Like it got to a point where you had to say, wait, are we talking about real people? Like if somebody would have read our text thread, they'd have sworn we were being messy and talking about somebody.
And it's a whole book.
And we're talking about these books like they real people. I'll be passing in the French Quarters. And one of the books we were reading, Nako, and one of her characters, Juice, had these vans. These vans on. I'm passing the van store, and I just immediately took a picture and videoed it and sent it to her. And I'm like, look at the dirty ass van store. So again, BSB just came to be because we're in our 40s, and some other groups, they're 20 and their 30s, and it's not the vibe that we wanted.
Maybe that's why I'm fucking with it. 41.
Hey, and it's like, for me, it's something about just reading and keeping it strictly fun. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Because for me, it's like, we already got real life to deal with. We don't need no bullshit, especially not here, you know?
Nah.
So, we were like, we got to create our own, you know, something that speaks to who we are. We don't need all these rules. We don't need, you know, all of these big old calendars. Just freestyle it.
And y'all just created like a comfortable environment, like where you just, I don't know, you just feel the love up in there.
Yeah,
and
feel at home. Like BSB ain't just about Allegra and Yanna. It is literally family, you know, and that's what New Orleans is. And that's why we wanted to represent our home, because listen, have you ever been to New Orleans before?
Me?
Yeah.
Every year. I only didn't go last year because we did go last year. We went pre-COVID. Like
if
in
you
February.
ever encounter our elders, you go by somebody's house that live in New Orleans and it's their family, they will have you in there like you distant cousins, and you ain't never met them before, you know.
I can remember, like, we've been going since my stepmother is from New Orleans, so we've been going there since, you know, kids. And like you said, we like the first trip, we get there, we get on the like they tell all the kids go to the patio. Hey cousin, somebody come up, put their arm around you. They don't even damn know you. Just met you 2 minutes ago, but you cousin.
What's up, cuz?
Yeah, you go on the patio and they dumping them crawfish on top of the newspaper. And we got down through there.
That part right there.
Yeah.
The crawfish on the table, in the middle of the table, the newspaper. Listen, ain't nobody getting turned away. I always think about Tupac in that Poetic Justice when he shows up at the picnic.
cousin.
is so New Orleans. Like,
Yeah.
you ain't even gotta fake the funk. I was doing
Yeah.
that to somebody on the Zulu parade, our very last Mardi Gras parade, and I was tore up from the floor. And I was like, "What's up, cousin?" She was like, "What's my mama name?" I was like, "Girl, you know your mama name."
Cause I don't know your mama name, but we cousins, honey. Yeah.
So
And
again,
that's what it is. That's what it is. It's New
that's
Orleans, the
exactly
group.
what it is.
Yeah.
That's what it is. It's just, it's nothing but love over here. It's
Yeah.
nothing but love. But I want to thank you because you did not hesitate to say yes, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you continue to support, you set back, and you kept pushing out this fire behind me. So listen, when you finally slid Casey all up in there, you know, he was like, "Yes, sis, you're gonna hear this."
That's my man right there.
That's what's up. So thank you again. I look forward
Thank you. You're
to
welcome.
you and I meeting again.
Yes.
But y'all, this is Yapping with Yanna, presentation by Bourbon Street Bookers. Thank y'all for hollering.